Among mushroom foragers, the Deathcap is infamous. It's the most poisonous known mushroom in the world, and just half of one contains enough poison to kill you. This little guy may look unassuming, but it's responsible for 90% of poisonous mushroom deaths globally. So you might assume that that's about as bad as it could be, but you would be wrong. Because recent research shows that the Deathcap is developing new toxins that may make it even deadlier. Meet Amanita phalloides, commonly known as the Deathcap. Appearance-wise, they're pretty innocuous, with a white stem, a yellowy-brown cap, and beautiful gills along the underside. They look pretty much like any basic drawing of a mushroom. But they have that ominous name for a reason. They pack a double punch of being easily mistaken for friendly snacks, like the puffball or straw mushroom, and having some of the highest toxin levels per gram out of any other species of mushroom. With these guys, there's just not much room for error. I'm sorry. Deathcaps have allegedly been behind the deaths of many historical figures, including the accidental poisoning of Pope Clement VII and the murders of Holy Roman Emperor Charles VI and Roman Emperor Claudius. Now, we don't generally tell you, how do you live your life here at SciShow, but if you are a Roman emperor, just stay away from mushrooms. Deathcaps are tough to neutralize too. Unlike some other mushrooms, even cooking or drying does not keep you safe from their toxins. Don't believe me? Ask the family of a woman in Australia who, in 2023, cooked up beef Wellington made with Deathcap mushrooms that had been dehydrated. Oh wait, you can't. It turns out she did it on purpose. They are dead. Because they were murdered. It probably seemed like the perfect crime, because you might not notice that something is wrong right away. The first symptoms only start about 6 hours after your meal, and then it's nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea for up to 36 hours. You'll even start to feel better for a while. If you go to the hospital for your early symptoms, you might be discharged. But in the background, the Deathcap toxins are settling into your kidneys and liver. Ultimately, that's what kills you. Liver failure 3 to 5 days after eating the mushroom. So yeah, these mushrooms are definitely deadly. Aphalloides jams your system with 3 main types of toxins, but the one that's worst for humans is called amatoxin. Amatoxin permanently binds to an enzyme called RNA polymerase II and stops it from doing its very important job of transcribing all of your genes into proteins. And it works so fast that when your liver and kidneys try to do their usual work of filtering toxins out of your body, they can't clear it out and end up getting stuffed with the very poison they're trying to get rid of. But even after all of that, the survival rate of Deathcap poisoning is still estimated to be around 80 to 90%. So odds are a quick brush with Deathcap will not be the end of you. But to boost your chances, it's important to get treatment as soon as possible. While there are still no official antidotes to amatoxin poisoning, doctors can give you activated charcoal to soak some of it up, or certain medications to try to prevent too much amatoxin from reaching your liver. And you want to do that soon, because once enough of your liver and kidney cells die off, that damage is permanent. In some situations, even people who survive Deathcap poisoning might need a liver transplant or kidney dialysis. But before I get to the part about this toxic mushroom gaining even more toxins, I need to pause for a quick break.
This SciShow video is supported by Brilliant, a company that shares our love for curiosity, learning, and doing it all in engaging ways. Brilliant helps you strengthen your math skills with interactive lessons in exponential functions. You'll get to manipulate graphs to see the dramatic effects that small differences in growth rate can have. And you'll learn to solve previously unsolvable problems with logarithms. Brilliant is made for everyone. So whether you're 10 or 110, you can learn with hands-on manipulations designed by world-class teachers from MIT, Harvard, and Stanford. To learn for free on Brilliant for a full 30 days, go to brilliant.org/scishow, scan the QR code on screen, or click on the link in the description. They're also giving you unlimited daily access to everything on Brilliant, with 20% off an annual premium subscription.
Now, we could not get a Deathcap to speak with us on the record, but it doesn't seem that they are targeting us on purpose. Humans are probably just unlucky victims as this mushroom adapts to its environment. Remember that 6-hour delayed toxicity? It doesn't stop humans from eating the mushroom in the first place, so that gives us a pretty good idea that Deathcap poisons aren't really about us. In fact, people who have eaten Deathcap and lived to tell the tale have reported it's actually pretty dang tasty, but not worth it. Don't eat Deathcaps. So if they're not deterring us, Some scientists think that the Deathcap's toxins help ward off smaller predators, like pests and rival fungi. This would mean that aphaloides might have developed amatoxin as a defense against mushroom-eating insects. Now, some species of Drosophila fly have developed a resistance to amatoxin, so it's not a perfect defense, but the flies wouldn't need to evolve a specific resistance to it if the toxin didn't affect them significantly. So this makes some researchers support the insect deterrence idea. Another possibility is that these toxins help deathcaps establish a symbiotic relationship with the trees they grow on. The thing is, because of that relationship, aphaloides are difficult to study in a lab setting. Not too many labs have extra room for a bunch of trees, however nice the atmosphere would be. So while we know for sure that they are toxic to humans and dogs, studies on toxicity in other species are sporadic at best. Sporadic? Sporadic? And that's not great because these mushrooms have started invading new territories. They used to be European exclusives, but now they've spread their deadly poisons across North America and Australia. And a 2023 publication found that as aphaloides adapts to new environments, it's coming up with new toxins. They're killing it out there. Sometimes literally. This was studied in 88 deathcaps across California and Europe. Researchers were specifically assessing a group of genes called MSDIN genes, responsible for coding the most potent of the deathcap toxins, including the ones most deadly to humans. They found that these MSDIN genes have become significantly different between the US and European varieties, and they seem to be undergoing very strong natural selection. See, each individual mushroom has a slightly different sequence of MSDIN genes. But despite that variation, some regions of the genome stay pretty much the same no matter where the mushroom is growing. The fact that some of the genome has stuck around despite other parts being different suggests that those retained parts of the MSDIN genes and the amatoxins they encode probably aren't just a coincidence. Deathcaps are probably developing new poisons in new environments because something about those toxins is helpful for keeping the next generation thriving. So it's quite possible that these selectively refined toxins have helped aphaloides successfully sprawl across the globe. Caps off to evolution, as always. And that's just what we know from the few deathcap genomes we've looked at. There's a huge diversity of MSDIN genes among aphaloides, so they've made many new toxins that humans have yet to study. So the moral, or perhaps morale, of this story is to not eat anything that you have foraged unless you are 100% sure. As for me, I'll probably stick to the ones I could buy at the store.